Before this video begins, please check out Arab.org or any other site to donate to support Palestine. No one is free until we all are free. Thank you. Strawberry morning, everyone. Time to talk about India. India is a stacked country with a population that just passed China, becoming the #1 big boy nation. It's easy to expect a whole lot of variety within it. Uttar Pradesh alone has a higher population than any other country besides 4 of them. We all know the classics: Delhi, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, although I'm mostly speaking to my 12 subscribers, of whom mostly are friends who probably don't even know what a Mumbai is, let alone a Maharashtra. So to you guys, just pretend these places are famous. But still, some remain to be quite forgotten, and the typical visual of India is just the big cities. With such a hodgepodge of cultures, if we dig to any area, we'll find something to talk about. So here are a few states of India that you probably don't know about. Wait, hold on. I have more than 12? 200 subscribers? Whoa. So I guess people really liked my last video. I really appreciate all the positive support I got in the video, and it's just unfortunate college kept me too busy to keep up the momentum. Well, if you like what you see today, please check out some of my other videos and like and subscribe. We'll start in the east of the country, where you can see a bunch of smaller states clumped together, which is oddly familiar. These babies are known as the sister states. They have some of the smallest populations in India and have ties more from their eastern and northern neighbors. They would be very easy to write about, probably desperate for my attention. But instead, let's move a bit west and talk about Sikkim. Sikkim isn't India. No, not like that, but Sikkim has very different origins from India and is barely recognizable to the rest of the country. Sikkim used to be its own kingdom, part of the Namgyal dynasty. It was a kingdom that existed to spread the influence of Buddhism in Asia with close ties to Tibet. Its borders have changed multiple times, being invaded by Bhutan a couple times, then invaded by Nepal a couple times. Parts of Sikkim were even occupied by Tibet. See, look! Buddhists can also just be as aggressive and dysfunctional as the rest of us. Take that, college professors. Because they were struggling to stay protected, they asked for help from a new ally, the British. Actually, the British didn't do that much wrong. I mean, all of British India was bad, but they kept Sikkim as a protectorate and was able to keep it stable. Upon independence, Sikkim and India were not united given their historical differences. Then, China invaded Sikkim's greatest ally, who was much bigger and more powerful, and out of fear, they merged with India, which is still not the most popular decision, but it has held together ever since, being India's cute little Buddhist panhandle. Sikkim is still Buddhist today, and it's now majority Hindu. Sikkim has its own majority language, and Nepali. Curse you, colonialism. They still preserve Buddhist traditions all over the state, and today it is a diverse state with many cultures living in harmony. Sikkim is the 7th smallest state in India, still bigger than in some parts of its history, and it has the largest population of all the states that have under 1 million residents. The capital is Gangtok. Oriental setting, and the city does know what the city is getting. Sorry, that was dumb. It's pretty. Colorful buildings and statue, like this elephant statue, baby. Or the Buddha, I guess, too, but I like elephants. They are surrounded by some of India's tallest peaks in the Himalayas, and Gangtok itself is practically a slope. It has a ton of forested land, it has a large number of lakes and hot springs, and they take that prettiness seriously, as they are quite the environmentally conscious state. In fact, Sikkim is the only state to exclusively grow organic produce free of pesticides and fertilizers. This not only has helped maintain the environment and help people eat healthier, but has given them the most market share of organic food in the country, making bank for the state. And this alone has made them the fastest growing economy in India. Dang, small, pretty, and rich? Oof. While Sikkim might be quite the border anomaly, that is not the weirdest India has to offer. Check this out. This is Daman, this is Diu, this is Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Despite none of these places touching each other, they are actually one state, the aptly named Dadra and Nagar Haveli, and Daman and Diu. 3 settlements, 1 state. That makes no sense. That's like if we had a state called Houston and Corpus Christi and Tampa and St. Petersburg. Well, the reason this exists is for the same reason all bad borders exist on Earth: colonialism. The Portuguese were the ones that settled these areas during British rule of India, and because of the distinction in Portuguese speakers, it became a united territory. But this territory isn't the weirdest, because down south we have Puducherry, which is also 4 states, but now completely spread apart settlements on both coasts of the country, with the largest city, Pondicherry. Now this is one I can relate with, just like my favorite state, Funston, which consists of Boston, Missoula, Biloxi, and Eugene. Now this is a state I can get behind. Yes, I know, Puducherry is not actually a state, and neither are they. They are union territories, and they have different levels of governance compared to states, but they still count for this video in most regards, and they're still interesting. Also yes, my transition into Puducherry was 1.5 minutes long. Puducherry, instead of Portuguese, was part of French India and has more French influence than the rest of the country, and it's all in these small little specks. They carved out 4 different areas and shaped them like this, and like this, and like this, which should be illegal. What are you doing, France? The culture today is a fusion of different people groups and some French stuff, I don't know. Most people live in the area of Pondicherry, and most info about the territory is from here. It is the cosmopolitan child of Tamil and French cultures. You have monuments towards French soldiers and temples for Tamil figureheads. The city is coastal with varying French architecture all around. This is what France needs: more elephants! Now why would I go to France when I could come here? I mean, I wasn't planning on ever going to France, and now I have less reason to. Over here we have the town of Alivel, which is partially in Pondicherry and Tamil Nadu, because that makes sense. It is an experimental township with no violence or crime, has free education and healthcare, and embraces people from countries around the world as equals. It's a community-based system, and I would like it, but I know if I stayed there, I would just do nothing. I wouldn't get a job or anything. I just collapse on a bed. Don't even tempt me. Move a bit south, and we have Karaikal. It's a lot like Pondicherry, but smaller, quieter, and isolated. Both Puducherry and Karaikal seem like extensions of Tamil Nadu geographically and culturally. It's so strange that this place turned out this way. Up north, completely surrounded by Andhra Pradesh, is Yanam. It lies mostly along a river, and instead of Tamil, it is more of the Telugu culture, and is known for its mangroves. Elephant statue! Lastly is Mahe. That's 2 videos in a row where I discuss a Mahe, somewhere on Malay Island. Oops. It's shaped like this, and none of the towns here even fit in these borders. Man, France. There are less than 100 French speakers and the 40,000 residents. Mahe's existence makes a lot of sense. Sikkim and Puducherry have a lot in common. They're both small and out of the way. They're baby states. But what about the big guys over here? These larger states are more well known but have a lot more diversity to them because of their size. Go outside a big city and you'll find tons of secrets. But what do I choose? Let's see. Population is in the lower end of the states. Biggest city is only 45th in the country behind every other big state. Lowest density of the largest states. More people don't know where it is than do. Only came into existence in 2000. Perfect. Our next stop, Chattisgarh. What? Chattisgarh, one of the newest states in India. The state used to be part of Madhya Pradesh, another very large state, but the region of Chattisgarh was performing way better and wanted to drop its weakest link. Dang, Chattisgarh, that's cold. This has actually happened multiple times in India, and is not even the most recent. But learning about Chattisgarh made me realize India is kind of a chaotic place. Like one Chattisgarh official who recently drained 500,000 gallons from the dam to receive their phone. I don't know about you, but that's politics for you. What makes Chattisgarh interesting is the geography. It is one of the most biodiverse states in India, and more than 80% of the biodiversity in this state isn't found anywhere else in the country. Almost half is covered by forests, it has rare wildlife, there are temples and monuments scattered in the wild, and it has waterfalls. It even has what is known as the Niagara Falls of India. Now, I'm from upstate New York, so I think I know Niagara Falls of India when I see one.
Wow, that is pretty good.
This is Raipur, a large, clean, booming metropolis in the middle of the wilderness, and is focused on industrial work. Elephant statues! This one's a slide! Chattisgarh today is more on par with Madhya Pradesh now, some stats ranking higher and some ranking lower. Unfortunately today, Chattisgarh's reputation is known for the Naxalites, a Maoist insurgent group in rural areas, and it often led to serious conflicts. Even if they are way less prominent now, it has been tricky for Chattisgarh to completely fix its image. Chattisgarh is a very tribal state, and 3/4 of the state is still rural. It is even stated that the earliest communities in India may have resided in Chattisgarh. Basically, Chattisgarh is just the random state that split up, is just a giant forest filled with nothing but the most distinct wilderness, and in the center has one of the most developed cities in the country. That's as Indian as it gets. I wanted to diversify this video, but I still ended up leaving out multiple states I could have talked about. So I don't know, maybe if people like this video, I'll do more obscure states of India. But to finish off, I will head to the sister states. Who's gonna get it? Who's gonna get it? You. Tripura. Tripura is this little guy here. It's actually the second most populated of the sister states, with over 3 million people. So it might not be the most obscure, but what immediately caught my attention were the borders. As it is covered by 3 sides by Bangladesh, its capital is also tucked right next to the border. The population is majority Bengali because of this. It makes me wonder if Bangladesh's border could be less ugly, but the population is also majority Hindu and would rather stay in India, and maybe I should stop assuming that states shouldn't exist and just enjoy them for what they are. Yeah, stick to the premise of the video, so let's do that. A lot of the Bengali population comes from refugees from the independence war with Pakistan. It isn't the most controversial refugee issue in either country. Tripura was one of the many states that was formerly a kingdom. In fact, Tripura claims to be the oldest princely state in India, and through history was known as the Tripura Kingdom. I'm not elaborating because this is not a history channel, and I'll probably get things wrong, like in these videos. But their history and heritage still has an impact on the culture and historical man-made sites today, such as the Unakati rock carvings, a temple for math.
That's a Matha temple.
The Poland building.
That's Nir Mahal Palace.
Dummer Lake.
That's not a man-made site. Also, it's Dumbor.
You're Dumbor! Tripura's geography is mostly hilly with plateaus and multiple parks, and oh my god! The most interesting thing about Tripura is that most of the entire state is autonomous. I don't know how this works, but only this area is controlled entirely by Tripura. This large land is the Tripura Tribal Areas Autonomous District Council, which allows the native population of 19 distinct tribes to have more representation. I love the harmony between these groups. They all have their own dances, festivals, and cuisines. It is all really odd and unique, and it's all in the middle of nowhere. Yet no one really pays attention about this place or any of the sister states. The biggest stereotype about this state is that it doesn't exist. Wait, it doesn't exist? I mean, I've never met someone from Tripura. What? Why am I talking about this place then, if it doesn't exist? Alright, that's it. That's my outro. India is neat. Take care.